Hi everyone, welcome to the third and final webinar conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming operational case study examinations happening in August 2023. And my name is Nick and I'm the lead tutor and evaluator for OCS at TCS. So before we proceed with tonight's webinar, I hope you attended the first two webinars. In the first one, we provided a study plan and we also highlighted the technicalities behind the OCS exam. And in the second webinar, which is one of the most important webinars, I explained to you answer planning and time management technique. So you need to, when practicing your mock exams, you need to practice these answer planning and time management techniques, which will ensure that you'd have enough time when it comes to developing your answers at your exam, and you'll come up with high quality answers, well structured answers, and on top of that you'd manage your time appropriately, because most students they end up failing the exam because they run out of time. They do not know how to manage their time. So all these problems were addressed in the previous webinar. So if you missed out on the first and the second webinars, the recorded versions can be found via www.study@tcs.com. Simply, create a user account and check out the free content. By clicking on the free content tab, you'd have access to the two videos. And on top of that, you will also have access to the pre-scene analysis video. Out of the four pre-scene analysis videos, we have made one of them available to you free of charge. So you can access the video of the first pre-scene analysis session. And on top of that, you will also have access to a mini mock and its suggested answer, and the answer planning technique, which was discussed in webinar number 2. The document which I utilized has been uploaded under the free content as well. So I hope you guys will go check these free resources out. Okay, so let's look at tonight's session's outcomes. So first things first, I'm going to take you through examiner's comments, because as I've been telling you throughout the previous webinars, it's of utmost importance that you understand what the expectation of the CIMA examiner is, what is requested from you. So best way to understand these things is to take you through the exam blueprint. So I've taken the most important parts of the exam blueprint, and based on these things, I will be providing my explanation. And on top of that, I will also highlight what you need to do to develop a higher level of confidence or a positive attitude before the exam, as well as when attempting your real exam. Because again, as per the CIMA examiner, positive or students with a positive attitude or confident students end up passing the exam comfortably. So if you had stuck to a study plan, and if you have an appropriate answer planning and time management technique, and if you have practiced these answer planning and time management techniques, then you can develop a higher level of confidence. So all these type of tips will be provided as part of tonight's webinar. And on top of that, you might be trying to attempt the OCS exam in August, where you could not clear a previous session. So before you start preparations for the session in August, you need to understand what your shortcomings are. So I will be highlighting or explaining several different shortcomings, and for each shortcoming I will be providing a solution. So you need to iron out your problems this time if you are if you want to pass the exam comfortably. So these are the three areas which will be covered in tonight's webinar. So moving forward, first things first, let's look at examiner's comments. So the examiner, as per the CIMA exam blueprint, the examiner is providing us with several different tips. So when developing answers, it's best if you can come up with a high quality answer. So high quality answers require relevance to the requirement. So as I've highlighted in the second webinar, I said that you need to allocate something like 5 minutes to read through the scenario. And after reading through the scenario, you need to understand the exact requirement. And I also highlighted that it is prudent or it is best practice for you guys to reiterate the requirement in a shorter version in your own words, so that you need not refer back to the question on several occasions. Instead, within your answer plan itself, you need to shorten the requirement and type it out in your own words. Okay, so if you do that, then you will come up with an answer plan or a fully fledged answer which is totally aligned with the requirement which is stipulated in your paper. Okay, so relevance to the requirement is of utmost importance. If you provide an answer which has no relevance or no connection to the requirement, then you would not get marks. So that's exactly what that's exactly why I said or asked you guys to reiterate the requirement in your own words, shorten it and reiterate the requirement in your own words. And based on that, you are supposed to develop your answer plan. So how much time did I ask you guys to allocate to develop an answer plan? Something like 15 to 20 minutes. So rather than simply reading the question and straight away typing the answer, you are allocating 15 to 20 minutes to come up with an answer structure. And once you are done with the answer structure or the answer plan, you can refer back to the requirement and see whether you had fulfilled the requirement or not. So before you start typing the answer, you are making sure that you are coming up with an answer which is totally aligned with the requirement which is stipulated by the which is stipulated as part of your paper. So if you want to come up with a good answer, your answer needs to be relevant to the requirement. And when developing your answers, it's necessary that you possess or you show that you possess a higher level of technical knowledge about the syllabus content, especially if you look at the OCS examination. Theories are heavily tested, technical knowledge is heavily tested. 85% of the weightage of all your questions are pertaining to P1 and F1 related theoretical areas. So you need to show to the examiner that you know your P1, E1 and F1 related syllabus content. And on top of that, just having this knowledge won't help you. You need to also show that you have an appropriate skill set which enables you to apply this knowledge to the given scenario. So all these things were highlighted in the second webinar where I said, I gave you tips to understand the requirement clearly. I told you the technique behind developing an answer plan. So when developing the answer plan, you can ensure that technical knowledge is included within your answer. And on top of that, you can also ensure that technical knowledge is applied to the information which is provided as part of the scenario, which is provided under each and every task. And you are supposed to develop well-structured answers. So, if you develop something called an answer plan or an answer structure, you will definitely come up with well-structured answers. And when developing answers, you are supposed to use paragraphs. You are not supposed to use single line sentences or bullet points within your answers. So all these things were highlighted within the second webinar. So if you missed out on it, it's of utmost importance that you watch the recorded version of it. And whenever you are bringing in an argument, you have to back it up with a certain level of justification. So there will be questions pertaining to you having to recommend KPIs for the company. So when recommending KPIs, you have to back it up with an appropriate level of justification. If not, you will not get marks. So remember that you are playing the role of a finance officer. As a finance officer, you are not supposed to come up with recommendations. Instead, you are supposed to assist decision making. You are supposed to play an informational role when it comes to reporting to your finance manager However, recommendations come into play when it comes to key performance indicators. You will have to recommend KPIs. So whenever you are recommending KPIs, you need to back it up with appropriate justifications. So if your answers are relevant to the requirement, if you show to the examiner that you know your theory, and if you display the fact that you know how to apply this knowledge in an appropriate sense, then if you stick to an answer planning technique, you'll come up with well structured answers. And once you have the answer plan, when it comes to typing your answers, if you utilize paragraphs, and whenever you are recommending KPIs, if you back it up with appropriate justifications, then you will get extremely good marks at your exam. All right, so let's move forward. Before the exam, what are you supposed to do? So I'm not saying these things, it's the CIMA examiner who is asking you to do these things. So before the exam, you are supposed to study all areas of the syllabus. So as I told you earlier, the OCS exam is highly technical or highly theoretical. So you need to know your theories. If you do not know your theories, especially pertaining to P1 and F1 related syllabus areas, you cannot pass this exam. Take it from me, you cannot pass this exam if you do not know your P1 and F1. Okay. And just knowing your theory won't help you. You need to understand how to apply theory to a given scenario, as I highlighted earlier. And on top of that, the examiner is telling you to practice tasks under exam conditions. So you need to practice mock exams. I've met so many students who think that by attempting just one or two mock papers or mock exams, you can excel at the real exam, which is not true. You need to cover the entire syllabus. If you are to cover the entire syllabus, you need to attempt 5 mock exams. So we at TCS, we have developed 5 exam standard mock exams. So when developing these 5 mock exams, we have made sure to cover all syllabus areas. So you might be a student who is not too conversant with the theoretical aspects or theoretical elements pertaining to E1, P1, and F1. However, if you attempt all our 5 mock exams, you will encounter all theoretical elements which are tested at the exam. So it's of utmost importance that you practice all 5 mock exams before you walk into your real exam. And when practicing these mocks, it's not just a matter of going through the questions and referring to the suggested answers. That's not what you're supposed to do. The CIMA examiner is asking you to type or write full answers. So what is a full answer? A full answer is not an answer plan or an answer structure. Instead, a full answer should consist of paragraphs and paragraphs of answers. So the CIMA examiner is highlighting the fact that you need to practice each mock under exam conditions. That's exactly why we at TCS, we have developed an exam platform. So when attempting each mock, you can do it under exam conditions. And we have developed the exam platform to be akin to the Pearson VUE system, which you'd use at your real exam. So when practicing mock exams, do it within the exam platform itself. Then you'd find it extremely easy to handle exam stress and pressure at your real exam. So this is what you're supposed to do before the exam. So during the exam, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to plan your answers. So this falls in line with the strategy which we have highlighted in webinars 1 and 2. In the second webinar, I taught you guys answer planning technique. So that's exactly what the CIMA examiner is asking you to do during the exam. Before typing out your fully fledged answer, you are supposed to plan the answer. That's where answer planning technique comes into play. And also remember that the marker is under strict instructions to mark answers on their merits. So, if if you provide long, extremely long answers, you can't pass the exam if if your answers are not relevant to the requirement. So you will be allocated marks based on merit. So the examiner picks quality over quantity. That's what you need to remember. All right. Okay, so let's look at the marking criteria. So when it comes to marking your papers, 2 markers will allocate marks before the final mark is finalized. So this is done with the intention of achieving high level of quality in marking, because 2 markers, the way in which they would mark the paper will not be too different to each other. If it's too different, then it will go to a third marker. However, in most instances, just 2 markers will allocate marks, so that the marking criteria achieves a higher level of transparency. And mark allocation for each subtask appears as a percentage under each requirement. I highlighted these things in the previous webinar. So you are supposed to watch the recorded version of webinar number 2, answering technique. I'm sorry, I've done a blunder here, a typo. So you are supposed to, if you could not attend the second webinar, you are supposed to watch the recorded version of it, where I've highlighted what all these things are. So if you had done a CIMA exam previously and failed to pass the exam, you would have seen under each and every subtask certain weightages provided. So based on these weightages, you are supposed to determine how many marks are allocated. Based on the mark allocation, you are supposed to determine how many answer points you need to come up with under each answer plan. So all these things were taught in the second webinar. So please watch it if you missed out on it. And marks are allocated based on merit. As I told you earlier, any marker is picking quality over quantity. All right. So having said that, let me remind you about what we offer at TCS. So, if you are yet to check out, so if you were not part and parcel of the 2 webinars, or if you are yet to check out the free content, click on this button and create an account, and you can check out the free content as I told you earlier. And let me talk about the 3 different courses which we are offering. It comes under three packages: Essentials, Value, and Premium. Under the Essentials package, you would get your hands on the recorded versions of the 4 webinars which we have conducted, the 5 mock exams with suggested answers, and the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. Okay, so if you are a student who is coming through the CIMA general route, that means that you have done your OTQ exams pertaining to P1, F1, and E1. So, and if you had aced your OTQ exams, if you have gotten really good marks for your OTQ exams without failing any of them, then this is all what you need to have access to in order to pass your OCS exam. Because you know your theory, if you go through the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, you'd have an in-depth understanding about the pre-scene document. And since you had if you had aced your OTQ exams, it shows that you have some type of discipline when it comes to exam preparation. So the same level of discipline can be utilized when preparing for your OCS exam. So you can do the 5 mock exams on your own and refer to the suggested answers on your own. And the exam technique are highlighted under the webinars which we conduct. So after you know the exam technique, after you attempt the 5 mock exams and go through the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, you can easily pass your exam. So if you had aced your OTQ exams, go for the Essentials pack, which is priced at £99. Then the second package is the Value pack. So the Value pack comes with the same material which comes under the Essentials package. And additionally, you'll get your hands on something called the annotated pre-scene. So let me show you what this annotated pre-scene looks like. So this is the same pre-scene, but we have come up with a multitude of annotations. And why are these annotations? What we are doing is we are summarizing the entire pre-scene by bringing out the most important information which you need to remember. So rather than going through all these pages and trying to remember all these points, We have made your life easier. You just need to go through these points, then you'd understand what is highlighted within your pre-scene. And as part of these annotations, we have also highlighted syllabus areas which can be tested. So for instance, you can see based on the information provided, I've highlighted the fact that IAS 16 property, plant and equipment will definitely be tested in the exam. And likewise, all syllabus areas are highlighted. And on top of that, the CIMA examiner hides some tips or hides some scenarios which can be tested at your exam. So since we have been evaluating pre-scene documents for so long, we know how to pick and select these hints which are hidden within the pre-scene document. So all these hints are mentioned as part of these annotations as well. So when it comes to understanding the pre-scene document, it's just a matter of going through these annotated pre-scene. Then you will have an in-depth understanding about all the information which are highlighted. And on top of that, um, if you go through, if you watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, then you'll get a better understanding about all the information which appears within the pre-scene document, because I myself have evaluated all these points which I've highlighted as part of the pre-scene analysis videos. So that's the annotated pre-scene, which comes under the value pack. And you'll also get your hands on the industry analysis cards. So via the industry analysis cards, we are providing an overview into the industry. We are also explaining the competitive landscapes, explaining the trends within the industry, as well as at the very end, providing you with 2 companies which are operating in the real world. So after going through this set of slides pertaining to the industry analysis, you are in a position to easily gain an understanding about the industry dynamics. So all this information about the real life trends within the industry, real life dynamics within the industry have been highlighted in a summarized format so that you can easily understand about the industry. When you understand the industry, it's extremely easy for you guys to develop or provide answers which are totally aligned with the dynamics of the company on which your knowledge is tested. Then you'd get your hands on the financial analysis slides as well. So, at the very end of your pre-scene document, you would have seen financial statements of your chosen company. So all these financial statements have been evaluated in an in-depth manner, yet our evaluations, we have made sure to keep all the evaluations concise as much as possible, so that you stand a chance to easily understand about the financial performance of the company. So that's exactly what you can see here. The SOPL has been evaluated, the statement of financial position, and we have come up with a set of annotations, and statement of cash flows has been evaluated. And at the very end, a ratio analysis has been conducted, and all these ratios, profitability, activity, gearing, liquidity, all these ratios have been evaluated in a precise and concise manner. So after going through this set of financial analysis slides, you'll know everything about what happens within the company in a financial sense. Okay, so those are that's what's highlighted under the financial analysis slides. Then you'll get your hands on top 10 likely issue slides, which highlights the top 10 likely scenarios which can be tested at your exam. And you'd get your hands on the case study familiarization kit, and you'd have access to a tutor managed live chat via Twilio, and theory recaps of OTQ syllabus content pertaining to E1, P1, and F1 related syllabus areas. So if you are a student who is coming through the CIMA general route, yet if you had struggled with your OTQ exams, if you had failed any of your OTQ exams, especially F1 or P1 exams, then you need some type of support. If that is the case, go for the value package, and the value pack is priced at £199. And talking about the third package, which goes as the premium package, this comes with everything, all the material which falls under the value pack. And additionally, you'll get access to the online mock exam platform or the learning management system. So as I told you earlier, when attempting all your 5 mocks, you can do it under exam conditions via our exam platform. And you'll get your hands on, or you will receive professional marking and one-to-one tutor feedback on mocks 3, 4, and 5. So what you need to do is you simply need to attempt the mock on the learning management system or the exam platform. And within 48 hours, you will receive feedback to your student dashboard. The student feedback can be checked via your student dashboard itself. So everything happens in one single place via the website, via the student dashboard. So once you complete your mock within the exam platform, within 48 hours, you will receive feedback. So let me show you the type of feedback you will get. So this is typically the type of feedback you will receive. So as you can see, on a paragraph by paragraph basis, I've provided my evaluations. And as part of these evaluations, what I've done is I've highlighted the weaknesses. If you have done something properly, I've mentioned that. But mostly when providing feedback, I tend to focus on highlighting your weaknesses so that you really know where you stand as a student. So that's exactly what you can see throughout the paper. And at the very end, on a subtask by subtask basis, we allocate marks so that you can easily understand where you stand and what you need to do, how much you need to score in order to stand a chance to pass the examination. So if you look at this feedback, this student had only gotten 69 marks, thereby failing this mock exam. And you can also see something called the success rate. So the success rate determines how well a student has address the needs of each and every subtask. So if you look at this student's answer script, this individual had attempted task number 1 extremely well. You look at the success rates, 93%, 80%, and 82%. However, when you look at the other subtasks, the success rates are extremely low. The only success rate which is above 54% is for task 3, subtask 3B. Other than that, in all the other areas, this student has not done too well. So why are we giving the success rate? By looking at the success rate, you'd know the subtasks in which you have done an extremely good job. And after attempting the mock, after receiving feedback, what you in your free time, what you can do is you can revisit these subtasks and see what type of an answer plan you should have developed. And by doing this, it's as if you are revising the entire mock once more, going through the answer plan and trying to figure out what your shortcomings are. Okay, so that's the best way to stand a chance to pass your exam this time if you failed last time. Okay, so that's that. And at the very end, a set of general comments are also provided with the intention of improving your chances of passing the exam. And on top of that, you'd get your hands on answer plans of all 5 mocks. So if you had utilized services of other service providers, you would have encountered, you get the mock exams and the suggested answers, but you won't get the answer summaries or the answer structures or answer plans. We at TCS, we had gone a step further and we are providing these answer summaries. So you need not spend or waste time thereby trying to go through the suggested answers and trying to develop your own answer summaries. We have done it for you. We have developed answer structures or answer plans for you. So you will receive, if you invest on the premium package, you will receive the answer plans of all 5 mocks. Okay. And you will also gain access to the recorded versions of the 20 master classes which we have conducted. So for each subtask, we have developed a master class. And via these master classes, what we are doing is we are explaining the question, each question and answer of each and every subtask. And whilst explaining the answer, we are teaching you theory as well as application. This is the best way to learn theory, because we do not believe in a scenario where you simply learn theory and when it comes to attempting mock exams, you are clueless about how to apply this theory in a practical sense. So in order to find a solution to this shortcoming, we have come up with, or we have developed these master classes. So via these master classes, as I told you earlier, we are taking you through the questions and answers. And whilst explaining the logic of each and every answer, we are teaching you theory as well as application. So you are benefiting thrice whenever you are watching a video which comes under the master classes. So you are learning the logic behind the answer, you are learning theory, as well as you know how to improve your application skills. Okay, so you'd get your hands on all these material, and you will be able to attend the webinars as well as the workshops. So although this is the last webinar which we are conducting under the free webinar series for August 2023, you will also gain access to a couple of workshops where you can get in touch with the tutors. These are Q&A sessions. So if you have any doubts, or if you feel that there are shortcomings in your part, then all these things can be discussed in depth at these Q&A sessions. And this package comes with a monthly installment payment option. So the first installment is going to be £99, and the two remaining installments of £225 each can be paid over the two remaining months. So the first installment needs to be paid right now, which is £99, and the remaining installments can be paid a month later and 2 months later. And this package comes with a pass guarantee. So let me explain what a pass guarantee is. So if you invest on the premium package and end up failing the examination, you will gain access to the same premium content free of charge in your subsequent sitting. However, there's a single condition. The condition is that you need to attempt all 5 mock exams via the exam platform. If you do that, there's no way that you can fail the exam. If you attempt the 5 mock exams and still fail, you will gain access to the same material which comes under the premium package free of charge in your subsequent sitting. So that's the pass guarantee which we provide. If you attempt the 5 mock exams and if you watch the master classes, there's absolutely no way that you'll fail this exam. Okay, so that's that. And let me remind you about the study plan, which can be found within the website itself. So according to the study plan, we are in week number 4. You are supposed to attend the 3rd webinar exam prep, which we have already done so far. And within this week, you are supposed to attempt mock number 2. So if you're yet to attempt any mocks, it's high time you do it, because you have only 4 weeks until your exam. So it's time to get serious. I want you guys to relax closer to the exam. So do not wait until the last 2 weeks to start preparations, because if you do, you won't have enough time to attempt mock exams. You are supposed to watch the videos, the pre-scene analysis videos, the master classes. You are supposed to attend the live workshops. So there's a lot to be done. So in order to relax closer to the exam, it's better to start your preparations now itself. I'm not asking you guys to, spend a lot of time for studies, because I know for a fact that you might be running your own business, or you might be a corporate citizen. So definitely you'll be busy with your work, and you have family commitments as well. So you won't have enough time to spend for studies. So I'm not asking you to spend a lot of time. Instead, I'm simply asking you guys to allocate 3 hours per week, sit in one place and attempt a mock exam in one go under exam conditions. That's the only request I'm making. Um, only request I'm making. Everything else is handled by us. All the other study material have been prepared. Even the suggested answers have been summarized, so that you can easily understand the logic when it comes to developing answer plans or answer structure. So everything is handled by us. What you need to do is you need to simply sit in one place, find 3 hours at a stretch, and attempt a mock exam per week. Okay. So if you are yet to attempt mock exams, according to the study plan, within this week, you are supposed to attempt mock number 2. So within this week, you are supposed to attempt 2 mocks, mock 1 and mock 2. And from week 5 onwards, it's just a matter of attempting a mock per week. So don't wait until the last moment. Start preparations now itself. All right. And by clicking on this button, you can join our OCS WhatsApp discussion forum as well. Okay, so that's what we offer. And let me remind you about our achievements. We are proud to say that in the 2022 exam window, we were able to produce 4 national rankers. 3 of the students got second ranks, and 1 of the students got a third rank. And all these students who stick to our study plan, who listen to what we say, who whenever they are practicing their mock exams, when the students who stick to the time management and answer planning techniques end up getting more than 100 marks. So as you can see, this student who got the second rank in India got 109 marks. So the pass mark is 80 marks out of 150. When the pass mark is 80 marks, this student had gotten 109 marks. So you can do the same thing by simply sticking to the study plan. So according to the study plan, it's just a matter of on a weekly basis, finding 3 hours and attempting a mock per week. Everything else is handled by us. You simply need to watch the videos, learn theory, improve your application skills, and understand the logic behind all these answers. And take it from me, when you're attempting your real exam, there's absolutely no way that you would see a question which is not covered under our mock exams. That's exactly why these guys had gotten all these national ranks. That's the pass guarantee which we're offering. And also, let me remind you about a 50% discount which we're offering on the premium package, the first installment of the premium package. So if you are to invest on the premium package, use the discount code which is OCSP50 in the checkout area. And remember, this discount expires tomorrow. So if you are yet to invest on exam standard mocks and pre-seen specific study material, it's high time you do it. You just have a month until your exam. So make use of this discount and save £50 if you are interested in investing on the premium package. All right. So having said that, let's move on to the second part of tonight's webinar, where I said I'll highlight about what you need to do to develop a high level of confidence. So what are you supposed to do to improve your level of confidence before the exam? You are supposed to stick to the study plan. So that's exactly what the CIMA examiner told you as well, because I took you through as part of the first part of tonight's session. I took you through the examiner's comments. That's exactly what the examiner told you. You are supposed to stick to a study plan. So if you could not attend the first webinar, I invite you guys to attend or watch the recorded version of the webinar where I've explained the study plan in depth, and refer to the study plan via our website. Then you can easily keep track of where you stand and what you need to do on a week by week basis. And you are supposed to stick to a routine, not just when it comes to exam preparation, but you need to wake up and sleep at an appropriate as a routine. It's better because if you wake up and sleep at a stipulated time, predetermined time, then it's easier for you to stick to an exam preparation discipline, and work on your daily meal intake as well. Try to get your breakfast at a stipulated time, lunch and dinner at stipulated times. If you do that, you'll fall asleep easily, and on top of that, you'll wake up easily as well. So at least until your exam, you have 4 weeks at your disposal. So at least until your exam, try to stick to meal plan and wake up and sleep at the same time or stipulated time periods. Okay. And before the exam, you are supposed to practice mock exams. This is what was highlighted by the CIMA examiner. So when practicing mock exams, practice under simulated exam conditions. So if you invest on the premium package, you will have access to our exam platform. So if that is the case, you can practice all 5 mocks under exam conditions and try to attempt mocks in isolation without any disturbances. Okay. Because at the exam there won't be any disturbances, you'll be on your own. So try to replicate a similar situation when attempting your mock exams. So if you are a cricketer, when you are practicing batting, before you walk into the pitch, you go to the nets and practice. That applies to any sportman out there or any sportwoman out there. So that's exactly what you are trying to do here. Before walking into your examination hall or before attempting your exam online, you are practicing it under simulated conditions. And stick to the exam technique routine whenever you are attempting mock exams. So when attempting mock exams, do not try to come up with your own exam technique. Instead, keep practicing the exam technique which we have highlighted as part of the second webinar. So if you do that, when attempting the first 2 mocks, you will figure out that you run out of time, your answer structures are not up to standard, you are struggling to understand the requirement, you are struggling to apply theory, you are struggling to come up with an answer which is aligned with the information which appears within the scenario. So all these shortcomings will be there. But if you keep on practicing this answer planning technique from mock 3 onwards, you will come up with better answer plans or answer structures, and you will get everything done under 45 minutes. Okay. So if you are to manage your time appropriately, if you are to come up with high quality answer plans, then you need to practice these answer planning techniques which we have highlighted. So when attempting 5 mock exams, under each mock exam there are 4 tasks. So it's as if you keep on practicing these answer planning and time management techniques, it's as if you are practicing these techniques 20 times over. 4 tasks per mock into 5 mocks is 20 tasks in total. So if you keep on practicing these things, you'll do the same, you'll stick to the same methodology 20 times over. That's enough practice for you guys to master the answer planning and time management techniques. So at this stage itself, at the OCS level itself, if you master the answer planning and time management techniques, you can easily apply the same methodology when you attempt your MCS and SCS exams. So get it right this time itself by practicing or applying these techniques when you are practicing the mock exams. So 20 minutes should be allocated towards reading the question and developing the answer plans, and 25 minutes should be allocated towards typing the answers. So all these points were evaluated or explained in depth in our second webinar. And on the day of the exam, what are you supposed to do? So let's assume your exam is at 9 a.m. So on the day of the exam, when you wake up, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to rest your mind and body. And a day before the exam, if your exam is happening on the 10th of August, what are you supposed to do on the 9th of August? You are supposed to rest your mind and body. Do not refer to any study material, mocks, or answer plans. So you might think that I'm stupid to say these things, asking you guys not to refer to any study material, mocks, or answer plans. But, it makes sense because the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment, and you are playing the role of a finance officer. So in a real life corporate environment, if you were up the previous night Can you work properly in the following day? You can't. If you were up the previous night, if you were stressed in the previous night, or the entire in the entirety of the previous week, if you are stressed, if you are up in the night, then you can't function properly as a finance officer. So a similar approach needs to be adhered to when it comes to your preparations. So since the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment, you need to act as a finance officer. So closer to the exam, that's exactly why I said you are supposed to relax your mind and body. You should not be under undue stress, because it will be reflected on when the examiner goes through your answer script. If you are under stress, you can't think straight. So that's exactly why I want you guys to rest your mind and body. Do not refer to any study material, mocks, or answer plans a day before the exam. So if your exam is on the 10th of August, you have to stop all your preparations by the 8th of August. 9th of August, you are supposed to relax. And if you are relaxed enough, you'll come up with high quality answers. You'll be open minded, and you'll play the role of a finance officer appropriately. Think that you are the finance officer of Tracks Europe, or a day before the exam, and try to let go of any negativity. However much prepared you are, when the examination day is drawing closer, you will feel some type of stress. That's normal. Even I felt it as a student. But if you have done your work properly, whenever you get negative thoughts, you can constantly keep on reminding yourself that you have done your work. That's the best way to get rid of exam stress or undue negativity closer to the exam. And try to be open minded, because if you are open minded, then you are in the best position to function as a finance officer. And during the exam, what are you supposed to do? Stick to the exam technique routine. You can only stick to the exam technique routine if you had practiced the exam technique routine when practicing your 5 mock exams. So that's exactly why I'm telling you, I cannot highlight how important this is. Whenever attempting your mock exams, keep on practicing this exam technique routine. 20 minutes for reading and answer planning, 25 minutes for typing answers. So that's the same method which you need to replicate at your real exam. And during the exam, however much prepared you are, you will feel stressed, because definitely out of the 4 tasks, one of the tasks will be extremely hard. That's how your examinations are developed. The CIMA examiner is trying to figure out whether you can handle pressure or not. So that's exactly why out of the 4 tasks, one single task will be extremely hard. So usually you'd see task number 1 or task number 2 to be extremely hard. So that's in the first half of your exam. So in the first half of your exam, if you crumble under pressure, if you let the stress get to you, then you are going to screw up the second half of the exam as well. Because let's assume you got the hard task in section number 1, and for a fact that you did not come up with high quality answers, so you are panicking, you are stressed. And if you carry forward the stress to tasks 2, 3, and 4, you will end up failing the exam. So if you are to play the role of a finance officer appropriately, and if you are to pass this exam, you cannot crumble under pressure. Instead, whenever you are feeling stressed, drink some water. That's the best approach to calm down your nerves and calm down your brain. And close your eyes and breathe slowly for 2 minutes, because whenever human beings are stressed, or whenever human beings are panicking, there's this certain part of our brain which is known as the amygdala starts kicking in. Okay, so when the amygdala kicks in, we end up doing or taking all the wrong decisions, or doing something stupid. Okay, this is when adrenaline rushes in, and with adrenaline rushing in, we end up taking all the wrong decisions. So that's exactly why you need to switch off your amygdala. Whenever you are panicking, the amygdala kicks in, So you need to restrict the functionality of your amygdala. And the best way to do it is focusing on your breathing. So for 2 minutes, you might think that you are wasting your time. Take it from me, you are actually saving time if you are trying to get out of undue stress. So the best way to do it is to close your eyes and focus on your breathing for 2 minutes. If you do that, the amygdala will switch off and your prefrontal cortex will start working again. So that's where rational thinking or rational decision making takes place. So you need to think from your prefrontal cortex. If the amygdala kicks in, you won't come up with high quality answers. You won't be open minded. You'll take emotional decisions. And as a finance officer, you are not supposed to take emotional decisions. So focus on your breathing if you are stressed. And whilst focusing on your breathing, you can always remind yourself that you have done your homework. You can only do this if you had done your homework. So make sure in the upcoming 4 weeks to get everything done according to the study plan which we have provided. And always remind yourself that you just need 80 marks to pass. You are allocated with 150 marks in total. Out of that, you just need 54% or 80 marks to pass. So as I told you earlier, out of the 4 tasks, one of the tasks will be extremely hard. Even if you screw up the entire task, you still can pass the exam by being composed, by remaining calm, by handling stress, and coming up with high quality answers for tasks 2, 3, and 4. Because remember, if you attempt our mock exams, you will cover the entire syllabus. You will see all the different types of scenarios which will be tested in your exam. And just because one single task is extremely hard, do not screw up your entire paper. Focus on your breathing, drink some water, switch off your amygdala, and move forward. Constantly keep reminding yourself that you have done your homework, and keep reminding yourself that you need just 80 marks to pass. If you do, then you can easily pass the exam. And at the exam, give your best shot and always be open minded. So, as I told you earlier, this student who got the second rank in OCS scored 109 marks. So the student did not, out of 150 marks, the student did not get the full marks. Instead, this individual ended up getting just 109 marks. Still, this individual was able to pass the exam, not just pass the exam, get a national rank as well. So there will be a task out of the 4 tasks, as I told you earlier, there will be a task which is extremely hard. Do not crumble under pressure. Keep moving forward. If you are feeling stressed, drink some water, focus on your breathing. You have to do these things because that's exactly what you are supposed to do when doing your job as well. You will feel stressed when doing your job. You'll be overburdened with work. You'll feel that you are running out of time. There will be reports which you need to do, so many emails to respond to. So that's exactly what the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate at the examination. So the CIMA examiner is not only testing your knowledge about theoretical elements, not testing your ability with regards to application. The CIMA examiner is trying to also figure out whether you can handle stress. So you need to focus on these things. And the best way to get rid of undue stress is to get everything done within the 4 weeks. Stick to our study plan. If you do, you'll walk into the exam relaxed and with a positive attitude. If you are relaxed and if you have a positive attitude, you know, it's 50% of your work is already done. It's as if you have already achieved 40 marks. You simply need an additional 40 marks to pass your exam. All right. And on top of that, you are supposed to avoid deflections when it comes to handling your preparations. Do not overemphasize on the exam blueprint. I've seen students trying to actually memorize the exam blueprint. There's absolutely no point of doing it because in the first part, I took you through the examiner's comments in tonight's session. So it's based on the exam blueprint. I've taken out the most important points. Other than that, you can forget about the exam blueprint. Over reliance on predictions, there's absolutely no point of relying on predictions, because I've seen tutors out there predicting about the different types of scenarios which can be thrown at you at your exam. There's absolutely no point of focusing on these things, because if you had done your mock exams, then and if you had practiced your mock exams under exam conditions, and if you are relaxing closer to the exam, then you can easily pass the examination. Excessive industry analysis is a killer as well. So that's exactly why we have developed a set of industry analysis slides, which runs for something like just 12 to 15 slides. I'm not asking you guys to go through this set of industry analysis slides again and again. Simply go through it once, then you would know about the industry dynamics. You are not supposed to Google and do your own research, because you would be wasting your time. As a finance officer who is at the lowest level of the organization, you should not have an in-depth understanding about the industry. That's not expected from you, since you are a student at the OCS level. And misguided use of past papers is a killer as well, because I've seen so many students out there without investing on pre-seen specific and exam standard mocks. What they do is they refer to past exam variants. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that, but the problem is the past variants are based on different pre-seen documents, different industries, different companies. So based on the internal dynamics and the external dynamics, the type of questions which can be thrown at you will be totally different. So that's exactly why I'm not actually encouraging students to go through past variants, because if I was to go through past variants, since I've been teaching CIMA for the past 11 years, I know how each and every question, whether each and every question is applicable to this time's pre-seen or not. But you are not in a position, since you are, a student who is at the lowest level of the CIMA case study examinations, you are not in a position to figure out which of the questions are relevant to your case study and which of the questions are irrelevant to your case study. So you cannot do all these things, you cannot run all these evaluations on your own. So it's best to focus on exam specific or pre-seen specific study material and mock exams. And information overload is a killer. That's exactly why I do not want you guys to do your own evaluations pertaining to the financial analysis. We have done it for you. I do not want you guys to go through industry dynamics. We have done it for you. I do not want you guys to overanalyze the pre-seen document. Simply go through the annotations which we have provided. You actually need not touch the annotated pre-seen on multiple occasions, because we have done a set of 4 pre-seen analysis videos. So if you watch these 4 videos, then you'd know the most important, you'd understand the most important points which are highlighted as part of the pre-seen document. And on top of that, we have developed a set of TikTok videos, 3 videos, 3 TikTok videos, where we have summarized the entire pre-seen within just 9 to 10 minutes. So if you keep on watching these 3 TikTok videos on a daily basis until your exam, you'll remember all the most important points. So you need not go through the annotated pre-seen. Don't go through industry analysis. Don't go try to analyze the financial statements. Don't try to analyze the suggested answers as well, because we have developed answer plans. So we have made sure that you are not wasting any time. We have handled everything. We are providing everything. The only type of time which you need to allocate is towards, finding 3 hours on a weekly basis, so that you can attempt a mock exam per week. All right. So moving on to the third part of tonight's session, I said that I will be talking about shortcomings faced by many students who end up failing the exam. And for each of these problems, I will be providing solutions. So what are you supposed to do if you have to bounce back from failure? So you might have done your exam in May, OCS exam and fail to pass, or you might have done your exam based on a previous case study. So you need to understand or think, you need to focus on yourself and think whether you gave your best or not. You need to reflect on yourself personally and try to figure out what your shortcomings were when you were preparing for your exam. And at the exam, you need to figure out where you went wrong. You need to diagnose the reasons first and address them this time, because you can't keep on repeating the same mistakes over and over again, because there's absolute, if you keep on repeating the same mistakes, there's absolutely no way that you'd pass your exam. You're supposed to refer to the mini mock and suggested answers, as well as the examiner's report, to figure out you know what your shortcomings are. However, I will also be explaining or taking you through several different types of shortcomings, and definitely you'd understand what your shortcomings are based on the evaluations or the explanations which I will provide in a while. And you might not have gotten feedback on your mock exam answer scripts last time, and if you still ended up failing, then definitely this time you need to go for tutor feedback, because you need to understand what your shortcomings are, especially if you got less than 70 marks. So if you had gotten less than 70 marks, as you know, the pass mark is 80. If you had gotten less than 70 marks, then it appears that you lack appropriate technical knowledge pertaining to E1, P1, and F1 syllabuses. And on top of that, there's something wrong with application as well. So the best way to understand what your real shortcomings are is to attempt mock exams and seek tutor feedback. So if you gained less than 60 marks last time, definitely you have to go for tutor feedback this time in order to stand a chance to pass the exam. And based on these shortcomings, you need to come up with an action plan, and the action plan should be to work smarter than the previous attempt. So if you utilize our study material, this is exactly what you would be achieving, because your responsibility on a weekly basis is just to attempt a mock. Everything else is handled by us. So if you stick to our study plan, that's the smartest decision which you are taking when it comes to attempting your OCS exam in August 2023. All right, so let's look at the common reasons for failure. The biggest mistake is practicing just 2 or 3 mocks. I've seen, hordes and hordes of students doing it and doing this, and these guys end up failing the exam. You cannot cover the entire OCS syllabus by attempting just 2 or 3 mocks. Take it from me, this is a highly technical examination. As I told you earlier, P1 and F1 related areas are heavily tested. So, if you are to cover all syllabus areas, you can't do it by attempting just 2 or 3 mocks. If you attempt just 2 or 3 mocks, at the exam, you will see questions which you have not seen in your life before. So in order to avoid this, what you need to do is you need to attempt 5 mock exams. If you do, you won't see any question which is different to what we have seen before. Because as I told you earlier, when developing our mock exams, we have made sure to cover the entire syllabus. And not practicing mocks under simulated exam conditions, this is a killer as well, because you cannot practice your answer planning and time management techniques if you do not practice mocks under simulated exam conditions. So the best solution is to attempt mocks via our exam platform. Even if you uh, are not investing on the premium package, when attempting your mock exams, time it and do it. Set an alarm or set a timer for 3 hours. Sit in one place and do it. And when just setting a timer for 3 hours won't help you. Set timers with 45-minute breaks, because at your exam, after each task is done, after 45 minutes are up, you'll be directed to task number 2 if you're on task number 1, after 45 minutes, you'll be directed to task number 2 straight away. So if you are not utilizing our exam platform, then you need to time your mock exams each time you are attempting them. And lack of technical knowledge is a killer, especially a lack of knowledge pertaining to F1 and P1 areas will be a killer. So the best way to overcome these gaps in knowledge is to watch the master classes, 20 master classes which we have conducted or which we have developed. So if you go through these master classes, you will learn your theory, and you will improve your application skills as well, because you will know how theory is applied to the question, how theory is applied to the scenario. That's the best way to learn your theoretical elements. And shortcomings in application of knowledge, such as suggesting KPIs, and if there's a question pertaining to activity-based costing, most students do not know how to apply it to the considered company, apply it to the considered scenario. So all these things are covered under the master classes. So if you watch the 20 master classes, you will improve your technical knowledge and overcome your shortcomings pertaining to application. And inappropriate answering technique is a killer. So that's exactly why we have explained an answer planning technique as part of webinar number 2. And whenever you are attempting your mock exams, we want you guys to keep practicing these answer planning techniques, because by the time you are in mock number 4 and 5, you would have championed the answer planning technique. Okay. And mismanagement of time is another problem faced by most students. Most students end up running out of time. And, when you run out of time, it's as if you have come up with incomplete answers. And most students, when there's about 5 minutes remaining, they try to provide rushed answers. So all these shortcomings can be avoided by sticking to our answer planning technique. And lack of evaluation. So if you're trying to evaluate your answer with that of the suggested answer, most students cannot do it on their own, especially given the fact that there are gaps in knowledge pertaining to theoretical content. As I told you earlier, if you had aced your OTQ exams without failing any of them, you are in a position to do this on your own. You can simply refer to your answer and compare it to the suggested answer and see what your shortcomings are. However, if you do not have this capability of being involved with 100% self-learning, then it's better to go for one-to-one tutor feedback. So that's exactly what we are offering with regards to mocks 3, 4, and 5. And not adhering to a study plan is another problem. That's exactly why students end up trying to cram information, which leads to information overload. Closer to the exam, a week or two before the exam, most students try to attempt mock exams, and they end up attempting just 1 or 2 mock exams. And I told you, if you attempt just 1 or 2 mock exams, there's absolutely no point of no way that you will pass your exam. So stick to a study plan. We have handled this problem as well. We have developed a study plan which you can find via our website. So if you stick to the study plan, you can easily pass your exam in August. All right, so you guys might be attempting the exam at home. If that is the case, refer to the CIMA exam information page by clicking on this link, and read the content thoroughly before the exam, and try out the CIMA exam platform by following the guidelines. So all these things are best practices which you're supposed to do before you walk into the exam. And any questions, guys? So I've covered everything which I wanted to cover in tonight's session. Before we wind up, any questions? Let me pause the recording. All right, seems like there aren't any questions. So let me remind you about how you can contact us. you can contact us via our website, which is www.study@tcs.com, or email us on info@study@tcs.com, or simply drop us a message on our WhatsApp number. And I invite you guys to follow us on our social media handles, especially TikTok, because as I told you earlier, the pre-scene analysis videos, or the 3 pre-scene analysis TikTok videos can be accessed via TikTok. And on top of that, the recorded versions of these webinars are uploaded onto YouTube as well. I invite you guys to go and subscribe our YouTube channel and follow our Facebook page as well, because important updates are publicized via Facebook. And check your emails, because on a weekly basis we are sending emails, and via these emails we are providing you with tips. We are helping you to keep track of what you need to do on a weekly basis. Every week we'll keep reminding you guys about what you're supposed to do. So please be mindful to check out the emails which we are sending to you guys as well. So having said that, it brings us to the end of the free webinar series conducted by TCS. So I hope you guys gained something out of these sessions. So if you watched, if you missed any of the webinars which we have conducted so far, I want you guys to visit our website, check out the videos where you can get the recorded versions of the webinars, and after going through these recorded versions, you'll understand the nitty-gritties or the technicalities behind the OCS exam, as well as, most importantly, you'll understand how to develop answer plans and how to manage your time. And on top of that, you'll also learn how to improve your level of confidence, how to improve your shortcomings, and at the end of the day, end up passing the OCS exam comfortably. So all the very best. If you need any assistance, please email us or simply drop us a message on our WhatsApp group, or you can DM me via that number which I showed you as well. So thank you very much. All the very best. Good night and take care.